Hi class, Dr. Earls. Hope and pray you're enjoying this Labor Day, and yes, like myself, you're probably doing some schoolwork as well. But for this upcoming week, let me share some things that'll hopefully help you as well as encourage you in the assignments that you're tackling. So for this week, you do have your third Spurgeon reflection, and then you're going to have your first of two book study reports on Ryken for this week and the Puritans and what you've been studying about their values and practices, the convictions from scriptures they lived out in their home life as well as in society. And then you have your first part of the comprehensive paper. Let me explain. Again, this class is largely not only helping you make sure of awareness of understanding of theology, but also how to apply it. And so in this first comp paper, you're being asked to write about, from what you've been learning from Spurgeon as well from the Puritans, how is this going to shape or inform or influence how you will work with and lead lay people? This is big because so many times what's been modeled in churches, what's been the practice is that we pay the pastor to do the work. How can we change that practice, that understanding? Yes, those convictions from Scripture that helps us understand every child of God is called, and the pastors and those in church leadership are in that position and role and responsibility to equip all of us to be ministers and missionaries and to build a church with that understanding from Scripture and the call of Christ on every Christian. And then you are being asked in this first comp paper to write on, yes, what is this call to salvation, and why did Spurgeon preach God does not give justification without giving sanctification? This is huge, and let me explain why. When I did my, the Lord and my wife have allowed me to do 2 doctoral works. The first dissertation was in evangelism, largely on church growth, church health, and coming out of a Southern Baptist background. In this denomination that I grew up in, at that time when I wrote the first dissertation, we had 16 million members, and by all reports, we could not find 1/2 of them. The basic measuring bar for recording membership was if someone showed up once a year or gave once a year. We kept them on our membership rolls. What's this saying? We've done, especially as Southern Baptist, we were very strong in evangelism. We had all kinds of evangelism training programs. What we weren't quite as strong was making disciples. So we got out, we told the message, we got a lot of decisions, and that was wonderful. But how many disciples were made, that's in eternity's records to reveal. About 10 years ago, Mark Devers was speaking out here in California for our Southern Baptist Convention annual meeting, and he said, we are reaping now our campaign from 1954, which was a campaign in Southern Baptist life that had the theme, a million more in 54. Lots of evangelism, lots of witnessing, lots of going. But in that witnessing and going, there were many that made decisions that were not made into disciples, or they didn't understand fully what the salvation they were being invited to receive meant on their lives as to the call of Christ to follow Him with their lives. Mark Devers, sharing in that meeting, was explaining we have even many deacons in Southern Baptist life that have never had a conversion experience. And so all of that, this part of the assignment is very important. As you continue reading Spurgeon, as you compare what he was taught in his life from God, look at Scripture and see what Scripture does teach about this call to salvation. And so you're being asked to write about that in this first comp paper. For that reason, we are called to make disciples, not just record decisions. And how should that affect and influence our evangelism practices going forward? So thank you so much for tackling these assignments. Thank you for all the work you're putting into this course. This week is probably the toughest week because you have the book report work on Ryken, the Spurgeon Reflection, and this first comp paper. Please, this first comp paper is 2 to 3 pages, so follow that to drill down and make the work a little bit maybe easier, but you have to select those things you want to really hit and putting it to the 2 or 3 page length in the paper. Thank you so much, class. Keeping you in prayer daily. God bless you and your family. Bye.